All right, welcome back. Polls are currently underway in the UK and multiple opinion polls point to a landslide victory of the Labour Party led by Keir Starmer. If opinion polls predictions come true, the victory of the Labour Party will come after 14 years of Conservative rule, now headed by Prime Minister Rishi Sunak. While Sunak's Conservative Party is seeking another mandate after 14 years in power, while the Labour Party has maintained a 20-point polling lead under leader Keir Starmer in recent weeks, the UK operates under a first-past-the-post electoral system where voters elect representatives in 650 constituencies. The party that wins the majority of seats will form the government. So will Keir Starmer be able to fend off Rishi Sunak? That's the big question that in fact CNN News 18 is also going to be tracking for you from today up until tomorrow when results in Britain are finally out. Let me quickly go across to Sanjay, who's also joining us live on the broadcast. Sanjay, the big question, of course, that is very much on everybody's minds, especially here in India, is of course, if Keir Starmer will be able to fend off Rishi Sunak as a Prime Minister. If opinion polls are anything to go by, what is your hunch?
Well, I don't think we are at the level of hunches anymore. There's near certainty now, and that certainty has persisted for a while. Even before the election was called, people seem to have made up their minds that they want a change of government. This morning, the Sun newspaper had on its front page banner headlines saying the time for a change of manager, and they say they don't mean the England football manager. That, of course, is an indicator, and the latest indicator. It was the Sun front page. Remember, in the last election, when the election before last, when Neil Kinnock was knocked out, and the Sun had something to do with. It's just another indicator, and there have been several, and opinion polls certainly. There is now also a question being raised about Rishi Sunak's own seat in Richmond North. The poll group Savannah has said that that particular seat is too close to call. If Rishi Sunak were to lose his position not just as PM but as MP, that really would be a wipeout, and that is one constituency result everyone is going to be watching very keenly, just to see how bad it's got for the Tories.
Sanjay, let's also talk about the Indian diaspora and the significance of the Hindu vote, because remember, the Labour Party, as we are learning, is also trying to woo the Hindu voter over there, something that we could also sort of sense when we in fact saw Keir Starmer in fact visit the Swaminarayan temple in Kingsbury. What is going to be the significance as far as the Hindu voter is concerned? Not to forget Labour's own focus, not just on the Indian diaspora, but also the other minority communities there. That also includes the Pakistani diaspora.
Well, the importance of the Hindu vote can be overstated. There is really one constituency, Harrow East, that has a very sizable number of Indian origin Hindus living in it. And the MP for that was Bob Blackman from the Conservatives. Now, that is one constituency where they could make a difference. And of course, theoretically, they could make a difference in any constituency if the numbers are significant enough and if the margin is narrow enough. But there is a point beyond which the Hindu vote will not work as a Hindu vote. Hindu vote is Indians living in this country. They are affected by national issues as much as anyone else, inflation, immigration even, and they are going to be voting along those lines for who they think will be the better government and whether they want change. And certainly it is the Hindu vote has gone significantly the Conservative way over recent years, but this time Labour has, as you were saying, made a strong pitch to also win the Hindu vote, and Starmer has blessed that campaign. He has made it clear that he is not against Hindus. There was a perception earlier with Jeremy Corbyn in charge that that was the case. Starmer has sought to correct that.
It's interesting that you talk about the rectifications being made by Starmer when it comes to Jeremy Corbyn's own personal view towards India, which is why several in India right now are very curious to know what the new foreign policy of the United Kingdom would look like under Keir Starmer. Because remember, the Tories have been severely criticised by the Labour Party for in fact over-promising and under-delivering, especially when it comes to India.
The fact is that we have a very clear indication already. David Lammy, who has been the shadow foreign
Yes.
secretary for the Labour Party, set out the foreign policy of the Labour Party very firmly. He was emphatic in saying that Labour will build good relations with India. He praised India very warmly. He spoke of his own family connections and their origins with India. And he said that on a number of issues, Britain will in fact look to India for leadership in the new world, and that India needs to be looked upon respectfully, and that he says when he has to quote a poem, he's going to quote from Tagore, not from Rudyard Kipling. That Britain is gone. This is a new Britain, it's a new India, and Labour, he was emphatic, will build strong relations with India.
That's a very interesting point that you made because, remember, many are in fact drawing comparison and in fact alluding to what foreign policy was like back in the times of a Robin Cook as well. But many thanks to you, Sanjay, for bringing in all those inputs. We will keep a hawk's eye on all the developments that are taking place because, remember, voting is still underway as we speak. And in fact, CNN News 18 will also be tracking all those live results for you. For now, here's what the UK elections look like.